Hello and welcome to Call Centre Helper. I'm Rachel Trickey, and today we're talking about supporting mental health and well-being. I'm joined by Martin Teasdale, founder of the Team Leader community. Hi Martin, great to have you back on Call Centre Helper. How are you?
Really good, thank you. And thanks for inviting me on. And it's a topic that I think deserves as much attention as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it is such an important and interesting section of our
Mm.
report from our latest research, what contact centres are doing right now. And with nearly 50% of contact centres we surveyed having counselling services in place, where have you seen it used well?
I think, first of all, I think, isn't it refreshing to see that contact centers to this level are offering this service? In society right now, we have more people who are dealing with mental health or conscious of their mental fitness. And access to services is stretched than never before. So I think it's a real benefit that contact centers are offering to retain people, attract new people, that counseling services are part of working for the contact center. There are some people that are doing this really, really well. Because I think you can have a relationship with people that offer expert counseling services and open that up to your team members. But if you're not joining that with time for them to access it and time for them to engage in it, then it can be in some cases little more than window dressing. But I think people that are doing it really well, they're not just signposting it, they're not just talking about it as a one-off, they're consistently referring to it, and then they're allowing their team members to engage in that counseling service and support them along the way. It's probably not a surprise to say, in my experience, there are some people that are associated with the health industry, contact centers that are doing it really, really well. But I have also been heartened by seeing outsourcers embrace this service as well and offering these services. There's an outsourcer I know called Better Outsourcing that has a relationship with a very unique mental fitness, mental health provider called Jack, which is JAAQ, that is very much designed for a younger demographic. And they are very upfront and they push this consistently rather than just saying it is somewhere you can access on your employee website and you can scroll down, find the service, and then go off and ring them. Whilst that is good, and I wouldn't poo-poo that, I think to be engaged with it and see senior leadership engaged with it and people at all levels talking about it and saying, use it, we have this many people using it, I think really then takes it on a stage further. But what a great thing to offer. And given how hard the customer facing role is in our industry, for all of us that have been there and done it, we didn't have access to things like this. And I imagine that was a key reason why attrition was so much higher. The role is tough. We've all said this many times. No one contacts a company to say, "Hey, how are you? I just wanted to wish you a nice day." They want something resolved. That sometimes that's pressing, and it's our customer-facing colleagues that bear the brunt of that. So having counselling services is a key part of it. Notwithstanding, of course, we are dealing with humans at work who are going through life events like we all go through, and your employer offering you support to help you through those life events will stay with you forever. And I think that kind of connection, it demonstrates a real good employee focused culture. We all know the path to CX runs straight through EX, and that is embodied through your culture. And doing something like this, I think, is really important and is a necessity.
So important. And also then on the opposite end of the scale, we saw that 1 in 5 respondents saying nothing is being done to support mental health and well-being. What would you say are good first steps for getting started?
I think it's hard to know where to start sometimes, but taking a step forward isn't that difficult. I think, I mentioned the word culture there. Culture is what you're doing every single day with your teams, how you interact with them. Are you leading through kindness, and are you creating an environment where it's safe to talk about um, mental health and mental fitness? That's where you start. And I think again that comes, it's both top down, bottom up, and then I think as well as creating a culture where it's safe to talk about it, it's through awareness, sharing with people what does it look like? What does the vista of mental health look like? What should we be aware of? And how can we help? And then, there was a great rise, wasn't there, a few years ago of mental health first aiders, which I think there's so many providers of that. That's a really interesting place to start if you don't have anything. And of course, naturally, I'm going to say this, but equipping team leaders to be able to spot the signs, to spot things that might indicate that one of your team is struggling and may need help. Then you don't necessarily have to have a relationship with experts. We can all access expert helplines and places to go, but it starts with spotting a potential change in behavior, something that doesn't quite seem right, and then helping team leaders understand what is the process to be able to get their team member access to some great services that exist that won't actually cost the contact center anything. So I think it's a culture of creating, this is a bit of a buzzword, but it's the culture of creating a safe space where it's okay to talk about these things. It's awareness, and then you would lead it. Then you would follow from awareness into training, and that could be mental health first aid, but it could be bringing people in who deal in this world and helping their team leaders, other managers, uh, to better understand what they should be looking for. And then how do they start having some conversations? They're not there to fix these problems, but they are there to guide and support. And that really, the only commitment you really need then is time and to consistently show up and show that you are caring about your team members.